everyone, I am Alchemistic. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over purging specifically. If you are experiencing this might shed some light on that. Before I go into it, if you are new to me, thank you so much for joining me. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. I do post videos on manifestation, law of assumption, and spiritual topics. If that's your thing, stay with me. I want to get into this is a lot of people are getting tripped up at this point in their manifestation journey. So I felt like this was key for me to do a video on next. What I've been noticing is people will be affirming, visualizing, and assuming their new reality. But then suddenly, what happens? Everything seems to be falling apart, right? You're doubting yourself, you're feeling anxious, and maybe your old fears are hitting you like a wave. So what's going on exactly? This is what's known as purging. And I'm here to tell you it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good sign that you are shifting into a new reality. I want to talk about the concepts of purging. Many people mistake purging as a setback or proof that their manifestation isn't working. In reality, purging is just your mind releasing the old reality as it shifts into the new. This happens because your old identity, assumptions, and past beliefs don't disappear overnight. Instead, they push back before dissolving completely. It can feel intense, but it is temporary. So in this video, we'll cover number 1, what purging is and why it happens. 2, the signs of purging and how to recognize it. 3, how it connects to Neville Goddard's old man dying, ego death, and the dark night of the soul. 4, I've covered this before, but want to talk about it briefly. The good wolf versus the evil wolf analogy and why purging is a battle between them. 5, why it's a sign of shifting realities, not just transformation. And 6, how to move through purging and fully shift into your new reality. Before I dive in a little bit further, I do want to say that if you would like to work with me, the links to my services are in the description box. Most of you watching me are here for a specific person journey. And so I have released 2 new products around that. Number 1 is my Build-A-Boo workshop. That is for those that want to completely build a new person to experience in their reality, to bring that reality to them. Or you can use it to transform a current relationship, your current partner, right? I also have my 14-day Alchemize Your Relationship Challenge. That one is a 14-module challenge. Don't feel like you need to get it all done in 14 days. Each module does release each day, and bonuses are being added. It's intensive, okay? This is for those in emotionally charged situations, those that have done everything and feel like nothing else is working. This is for you. It is essentially like getting everyday coaching with me for 14 days. And again, there will be bonuses added to it. These are both in the pre-launch stage, especially the 14-day challenge. So it is discounted. I will have the discount codes in the description also, and that will be until the 14th. So make sure you take advantage, because once I'm fully done adding all the bonuses and all the modules, it will go to full price because it's definitely worth it. But let's go ahead and get into the video here. What is purging and manifestation? Purging is the process of your old reality collapsing as you shift into the new. It's not a test. It's not the universe delaying your manifestation. And it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. Why does purging happen? Your mind has stored years of past assumptions, beliefs, and habits. When you introduce new assumptions, the wish fulfilled, your mind doesn't instantly accept it. The old beliefs get triggered because they are no longer being fed. they start to push back. This can manifest in a bunch of different ways. From feeling highly emotional, experiencing doubts and fears, suddenly arguments, setbacks, or challenges happen, feeling physically exhausted, restless, or even sick. For some of you in emotionally charged situations like with SPs, you could even feel physical pain like you're literally dying, right? Even if it's not an SP situation, sometimes people have experienced this and label it as the dark night of the soul or an ego death. This is what this is. It's purging. Okay? It's not because you're failing at your manifestation. It's because your old reality is fighting to stay alive. As I've mentioned in past videos, your awareness is what keeps things, quote unquote, alive in your reality. So, of course, these things are fighting to stay alive, right? Because they want to continue to survive. I want to talk about signs of purging and what you can expect. Increased negative thoughts and doubts. The mind floods with intrusive thoughts questioning, what if this doesn't work? What if I'm doing something wrong? What if I'm not affirming enough? What if I'm not doing enough? And what that boils down to is you not feeling like you're enough, right? The old self tries to convince you to give up and return to your old state. You might feel impatient or frustrated that your manifestation isn't here yet. Wondering, why isn't it here yet? It should be here by now, right? That's focusing on the when, right? No physical symptoms. So this could look like fatigue, headache, sickness, restlessness. The mind influences the body. This is scientifically proven. So as your old identity crumbles, your body might react with exhaustion, headaches, flu-like symptoms, restlessness, physical pain in your gut. It could feel like your heart's being ripped out. There's so many different ways that people experience this. And they label it as ego death, dark night of the soul. You know, it's a sign that I shouldn't have this. Or in the twin flame community, it's the twin flame separation, right? I need to do a whole new video on twin flames. I've done some in the past if you want to check those out, but I will do some more because purging is a big part of that journey, and it's just a specific person journey. Another one as far as physical symptoms is some people experience random bursts of energy followed by deep fatigue. So you might get a burst of energy and like clean up your space frantically, and then other days feel completely so exhausted you can't even get out of bed. That's still purging, okay? Increased emotional sensitivity. This could be sadness, irritability, mood swings. Emotional wounds from the past may resurface. You might randomly cry for no apparent reason. It's like nothing triggered you to cry, but you're crying, right? You could feel anxious or experience heightened emotions without understanding why. Again, these things don't make sense, but what it is it's your old self, right? Still fighting to stay alive. Again, it's your mind purging stored emotions tied to the old reality or the old self. Situations going wrong. Manifestation backlash. Suddenly, the opposite of your manifestation seems to happen. If manifesting a relationship, they might ignore you or seem distant. If you are already in no contact, they might block you, right? Or they might just randomly say to you that they never want to see you again. These all happen, right? And this is still purging. It's still the old self because they are just you. If manifesting money, you might face unexpected bills. Something might happen where you need to use your sources on that. I'll tell a quick story after I get through this about a situation that I dealt with purging. If you're manifesting self-concept, which all of you should be because that's the basis, people from your past may challenge your new identity. They might say, who do you think you are? Right? or try to tear you down. This isn't proof that your manifestation is failing. It's the old version of reality collapsing. Dreams and nightmares related to your manifestation. Dreams of your past traumas, people, or situations connected to your old self can resurface. Nightmares where you experience worst-case scenarios. Mind is dumping its old programming, its old beliefs. Feeling you want to give up right before a breakthrough. Huge. Many experience intense frustration or a desire to give up. This is often when they are the closest to shifting realities, the final push before stabilizing in the new state. If you guys have ever seen the illustration where someone is digging in a cave and there's just a thin little layer and they're about to get to the treasure, whether that's gold, whether it's a diamond, or they're digging to get out and they're going to the other side. I like thinking about digging out and going to the other side because that's the new reality, right? It's like they start to give up right when they're there, right? But I want you to imagine that you're digging in a cave and the other side, your new desired reality, is right there. But behind you, the walls are starting to collapse. That's the purging. So you freak out and you run out of the cave when you were just there. And if you had dug just a little bit more, you would be in your new reality. That is exactly how this is. I want to talk again about the good wolf versus the evil wolf and how it relates to purging and shifting realities. I've already done a video on this, so if you want to check that out, you absolutely can. I will put a link to that video in the description for you guys to check out. I explained in this previous video, but here's a recap. This analogy comes from an old Cherokee story. And I was actually told this story by family members of mine because I was a foster kid and there's a lot of cultures in my family and Cherokee is one of them, okay? Where an elder tells a child, there are two wolves inside of you. One is evil, full of anger, fear, doubt, and negativity. The other is good, full of love, faith, courage, and peace. These two wolves are in constant battle inside of you. And the child asks, which one wins? And the elder says, the one that you feed. So, how this relates to manifestation and purging is the evil wolf represents your old reality or your old self, your past beliefs, fears, doubts, and everything that contradicts your new manifestation. The good wolf represents your new reality, new self, the version of you who already has what you desire. The part of you that trusts, believes, and knows that your manifestation is real. When you stop feeding the evil wolf, it freaks out because it's starving. This is why purging feels chaotic, because the evil wolf is fighting back. Think about a wolf or an animal in general that is being starved. They get angry, they get aggressive, they get in your face, they show their teeth. That is exactly what's going on here. I want to talk about how you can move through the purging and fully shift into the new reality. Number one, recognize that it's temporary. It's part of shifting realities, but don't let it discourage you. Number two, detach from the purge symptoms. See them as the old reality's death cries. Don't react emotionally, let it pass. Number three, persist in the new identity. Even when doubts or setbacks appear, remain in your assumptions. The only way the old reality dies is if you stop feeding it. 4, remind yourself this shift is happening because of the purge. The chaos is proof that things are changing. And number 5, lean on faith, spiritual or internal knowing. Isaiah 43:18 through 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Let the old go. Embrace the new. So Earlier, I mentioned with finances specifically that I faced a purge. This was a few years ago, and this was right when I first learned about the law of assumption. And I had a debt come up. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use the law of assumption. I'm going to see, I already have the money for the debt, right? So that's what my inner knowing was. That's what my assumptions were. That's what I was sticking to. And a couple days after this, I ended up with a nail in the sidewall of my tire. I went to the tire shop and they told me that I needed to not only replace that tire, but all four, because all of them had really low tread. And it was only a matter of days, maybe weeks, where my tires would pop. So I could have taken that as, oh man, my manifestation isn't working. Look, this is opposite results. And yes, I had doubts. Yes, I had those thoughts. But I said, no, it doesn't matter because I already have the money. The money is already in my account. So I put the tires on a credit card and I went about my day and acted like it didn't matter. A week later, I got the money for not only the debt, but it paid the tires and plus some. So I treated myself to a spa day. You see, I was right at that edge inside the cave and I decided to keep digging. So in conclusion here, you are shifting. Just trust the process. Purging is not a setback. It's proof that reality is shifting. The evil wolf fights back, but only because it's dying. Your job is to persist in your new reality and not let the purge trick you into returning to the old. Every version of reality exists. The moment you stabilize in the new, it becomes your dominant state. I have to ask, have you experienced purging in your manifestation journey? Comment your experience below. I'd love to hear about it. Check out my previous videos on ego death and the good wolf versus the evil wolf. I'll link those in the description below. If you're feeling stuck, remember, the storm always comes before a breakthrough. The biggest, brightest rainbows happen after the biggest storms. And as always, everyone that watches my videos, it's my assumption that no matter when you're watching this, day or night, you're about to have the best day or night of your life. And I already know that that's the case for you. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.